Man, the face-to-face ones never get any easier. Like whenever there's no game in the background, it's always very awkward to make the heartfelt videos, I guess you could say. So first off, let me say I'm sorry I look exhausted. I've been up since 5:30 because I was taking flights from Newark to Charlotte to New Bern. Today was just a nightmare. But it's my first day back in 2.5 weeks. And it's been quite the doozy, to say the least. So let me start by saying this. I, as well as many other YouTubers, don't really talk about our personal lives very much. And this is a video that I wanted to make because, not as like a woe's me and I want you to feel bad for me, but it's more so something that I think can help maybe someone else out there. So I'm going to kind of open up to you guys a little bit of what my last month has kind of been like. More so a month and a half, to be honest. Problem is, I don't really know where to start. So for those of you that don't know, right, let's say you're new to the channel, 28 years old. I moved out when I was 27, which is pretty late. So since January 1st of this year, I've kind of been on my own. Not kind of, I have been. I have family down the street, but I really only see them twice a week. That's kind of besides the point. But I think I'm not going to go into too much detail about what happened, but I can tell you this. About a month and a half ago, a lot of things around me started to collapse. And I don't mean like in a collapse as in, oh, my life's falling apart, but I got to take you back to one of the things that you guys don't really know about me, or maybe you figured it out, is I'm a very social person. So I don't want to say toot my own horn here, but where I grew up, this is going to sound kind of weird, but I'm almost kind of like a celebrity, I guess you could say. I know that sounds kind of crazy to say, but I'm one of those people where I can go into any store and I'll know someone. I was known as the mayor at my old gym, which I just got to go to when I was home these last 2 weeks. Like, that's kind of how I grew up. Like, I've been able to talk to pretty much everyone. I was on the plane today and I talked to a lady for 2.5 hours. So like, that's just who I am. And over the last 8 months, I've kind of felt like I'm in a little bit of a prison because, as you guys know, YouTube is a very lonely game. And my job outside of YouTube, not to go into detail, it's all from here. I can do it all from my desk. So it's just a very lonely journey, to say the least. And about a month and a half ago, that, as well as some other things that I won't talk about, really just collapsed on me. And it didn't collapse on me in a sense of financials or whatever, as I said, but I started getting anxiety. And I don't know how many of you guys have ever actually had an anxiety attack, but I don't mean like the kind of anxiety attack where like you're like, oh, I can breathe through this. I mean like on the ground, crying, unable to move because it was just so debilitating. And it started once a week, then it became twice a week, then 3 times a week, and then it became multiple times a day. I was on the ground in tears, feeling worthless, to say the least. And it got to the point when it was happening multiple times a day. It was like 2:30 a.m. and I just had to call my parents. And it was not fun for them to see me like that. It was maybe one of the worst. You feel like a burden. And maybe you guys who have witnessed this or have experienced this know that feeling. But you don't want to reach out to anyone because you know it's not their problem. And your brain, when you're in one of these, basically says, don't reach out to people because you're just going to be a burden to them, or you're just going to wake them up and they're going to be angry. That's just where my brain goes. Maybe someone else's brain is different, but that's just how I was. And I have a fantastic support system between my brothers, my parents, my aunt and uncle that are down the street, friends who, obviously that support system, my parents got me home the next day when I had my really bad one and I had to call them. But you guys might have noticed from the streams where I wasn't really myself. Like I was a little more closed off. Like stream was fun, and then eventually it'll just kind of hit, and like emotions just kind of stop. And there was a couple of times where I had to end stream because I can feel one coming. And as I said, it's very hard to talk to anyone about it because you just don't want to burden them with that. But I'm kind of glad that I got to this breaking point because my family got me the help that I needed. I know I'm very fortunate. Don't get me wrong. I understand I'm blessed in many ways that others are not. But my parents flew me home. I had 4 therapists that I was bouncing back and forth with. I had 2 doctors. It's nice to know that I have that support system, but that support system is now 8 hours away from me. And I needed to go back. I needed to get the help that I needed so that I can navigate this. Because I'm someone that I've always kind of bottled up my emotions to the point where it'll get to some place where it just all gets let out in the worst possible way, which has only happened a handful of times in my life. But now that I'm on my own completely, I shouldn't say completely, like 80%. I didn't have the tools to navigate what I was feeling. And that's why I needed the help that I got. And my parents were the ones that ultimately made the decision. And it was honestly the best decision because now I have this one therapist that I've been talking to who has just been amazing. Just in 2 sessions with this guy, my anxiety attacks have gone away. I've just felt so much better. I haven't had an anxiety attack in almost 2 weeks now. So the reason I'm making this video isn't so much as like a woe's me, but it's kind of, as I said, and this is kind of hypocritical of someone who has a degree in psychology. But as I said, I'm someone that always bottled my emotions and also like tried to take the world on my own. And the world is not designed to be taken on by yourself. You can have help, but eventually you have to get real help. And when it comes to friends and family, when they see you in this position, they can give you reassurance and help you through it, but they can't help you fix the issue. And I learned that by going to someone this doctor, I should plug him, but I don't know if he wants it out there. But this doctor really helped me get the tools that I needed to navigate this. I don't want to call it a loneliness, but this way of, I don't want to call it a solitude, but I just don't have the same friend group that I had up. Imagine like having everything in the sense of friends, family, like your brothers are always there, your dog, and then all of a sudden it's gone and you have to start over, which many people do. I just wasn't really prepared for it at the age of 28, and maybe that just has to do with me leaving so late in life. I'll admit I left way too late from the mother's nest, I guess you could say. But there was a reason for that, and I won't go into all the details of that. It's really just work related. But yeah, I needed those tools to navigate what I was feeling, and I just couldn't get that here. And now I have that, and I'm in such a better place. So the reason I'm making this video is kind of twofold. One, get help. And I don't mean like, if you're going through something like this, of course you can go to friends and family who are going to reassure you and whatever. But there is something to be said as someone who doesn't know you at all, who is a professional in this, and then navigates you to where you need to be. Like, you can't just go to any random person. You got to go to like to a professional, because this doctor helped me navigate through so many things that I've never really been able to notice. And it helped me so much to be a better person and be where I was before I moved. And I can't even explain it, guys, without like going into so much detail that we just don't even have time for. But it's like, it's almost like the only way I can say it, and this is going to sound super dramatic, but it's almost like a rebirth, right? And that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. And it's a great feeling, don't get me wrong. And it's just like the ability to navigate something you couldn't navigate before is just a fantastic feeling. And as I said, parents, friends, my brothers, other family, they can't give me that. They can only reassure me of things, but seeing a professional really, really helped. So to all of you that are struggling, definitely go get some level of therapy, even if it's just one session, just to talk to someone. It is so much more worth it than I realized. And that is why this video is sponsored by BetterHelp. No, that'd be a crazy plug though. Imagine if I just pulled that one out. So the other thing that I just want to quickly talk about is kind of the future. So therapy is an ongoing journey. There's never like a day that you stop. Honestly, my therapist was like, yeah, you're probably good at this point, but let's just keep talking every now and then, which I'm completely fine with. And those are going to be in person. So I'm going to have to go back to New Jersey, not a little more often than what I have been. So maybe like every other month. So what I was able to do, thank you, Mom and Dad, if you see this, what I was able to do, what my parents allowed, was I actually built a second PC that you guys might have saw in Discord for home. So I'm going to be kind of going back and forth. So some of the streams might be there and a little different, you know, like we won't have the green screen. We won't have all this fancy stuff that we normally have. So they'll be kind of like more lighthearted live streams. And then for videos, what I'm working on right now is creating a NAS system so that I can get my files from here to my PC back in New Jersey seamlessly so I can continue working. It's a little harder than you think. I've never had to build a personal NAS before. So that's what we're kind of working on as well. But that's kind of just what I wanted to catch you guys up on. Besides that, everything's going to go back to the regular schedule. I'm not doing much traveling, mainly because of the anxiety attacks, but also invalid passports. There's a rule where you have to have a passport within 6 months of expiration, which is some BS, but that's a different story. But yeah, so that's really just the plans. We're back on track. We're going to start making videos, recording videos, live streaming again as we normally would. I'm just saying that maybe 1 week every other month, there might be a period of nothing, and that's really just because I'm transitioning back to New Jersey. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, I hope this is kind of a helpful video, not like a feel bad for me kind of video, because again, I just think there's so much that I got out of this that I think I was scared to get in the beginning because I thought, oh, I don't need help. I can get through this. And trust me, even if you can, it's just so much better to talk to someone. So strongly recommend therapy after doing it for the first time. And I'm sure some of you guys have already sought help for other things. So awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We're back to the regular schedule, and I will see you guys. This will probably come out. I'll probably post this on Sunday. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, as well as all the videos and whatnot. I know we have some games we have to catch up on, like Silent Hill, Sparkling Zero. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. So peace, peace.